Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm the Donor Relations Manager at the Land Trust of Santa Cruz County. Welcome to Part 2 of our overview about the work we do to protect land for people and wildlife. In this video, Land Trust Access Director Carie Thompson will delve into our core programs supporting working lands, protecting wildlands and wildlife, and creating public access.
So we have some core programs that we're concentrating on right now. So we support working lands, we're protecting wildlands and wildlife, and we're creating public access opportunities. There's a lot of benefits to working lands. Working lands can actually create habitat. Working lands can optimize the forest health, like we talked about with conservation forestry, and they fund restoration efforts, particularly we've seen that at our farm, and they also go hand in hand with public access. These are Ohlone tiger beetle burrows. Ohlone tiger beetle is an insect that's an endangered species, and it's in Scotts Valley at the Glenwood Preserve on the east side. Super fast, they're hard to see, and they come out in the spring and mate, and then they deposit their eggs in those burrows that I showed you earlier. And these guys, they like bare ground. They can't have high grasses or thick grasses. So you have to constantly manage the preserve, and the way we do that is through cattle. So we have a cattle operator that is leasing the land for $1, so I'll put leasing in quotation marks. He brings his cattle out there and they eat that grass down, and they provide habitat for that Ohlone tiger beetle. All right, conservation forestry, logging to save redwoods. You can see even in this picture, you can see how thinning this forest would really make a difference to some of these trees. We've been doing conservation forestry at our property Burn Mill Iron Forest for over 20 years. We've basically pieced the property out into certain parcels. So some are parcels that we're trying to make an old growth forest there. So we manage that parcel for that. Some of the parcels are funding the property, so we're managing for a 15 to 20 year conservation logging effort so that we can fund those other portions of the property. So California has the highest sustainable harvesting standards in the world, the highest logging standards. Santa Cruz County is the highest in California, and Big Creek Lumber has even stricter standards that they operate under. They're really quite amazing. And to see these operations, it's really something. They do yarding, and it's really helping the forest. All right, working lands, we're talking about farming now. So we have the largest freshwater wetlands in Santa Cruz County at our Watsonville Sioux Farm. And right now we are working there to restore native grass lands. We created a bioreactor and installed a bunch of sediment basins for runoff. And that was all paid for through our leases. And then we'll talk a little bit about San Vicente Redwoods. This is our I wouldn't call it a new project because it's been going on for quite some time, but it's a big project. It's a really big project for us. And that's where it's located. So it's kind of an aerial view where you can see there's Bonnie Doon down here. Here's Jameson Creek at the top. So it's this whole huge parcel. And then there's an additional little parcel to the side. All right, so we have the California red-legged frog here. We have these oaks and Anderson's manzanita, which is a very unique and rare manzanita, a cohoe salmon and steelhead trout. There's tons of wood rat nests out there as well. And now we'll move on to our wildlife connections. So the wildlife tunnel under Highway 17 was the Land Trust's dream, and it required a lot of heavy lifting, both on our parts and on the legislature's parts. There was some Mark Stone really was our champion for that, and then Caltrans leadership was very excited about the project too. We've secured all the funding. Caltrans has done all their work, and we're going to be in the construction phase next year. And then our new project. So our new wildlife tunnel project is going to be at this Highway 101. There's already a tunnel there that we just have to do some enhancements to that we can make very viable. So Rocks Ranch is stunning. Besides its wildlife, corridor potential, it has a lot of other things going for it. It is working lands. They do cattle operations there. Has beautiful oak forests. And then it has also red-legged frog breeding sites. It has top tiger salamander breeding and upland habitat. It has some bird breeding and nesting habitats, and it has 9 ponds and some watershed stuff. So our last core thing that we do here is trail building and public access. Glenwood Open Space Preserve, which we talked about a little bit earlier. We built 4 miles of trails, 4.5 miles of trails on the west side, and then we just completed our project of 4 miles of trails on the east side. We do all the trail work ourselves. We contracted with mountain bikers of Santa Cruz to do some trail design. They have an expert trail designer on their staff, so they laid out their trails, and then we did all of the interpretive signs and wayfinding and constructional finalization ourselves. We have a big tent at the Land Trust. We believe everybody should have access. So on this west side, we allow bikes and dogs. And on the east side, we allow equestrians and hikers. There was a lot of design challenges when you're working with cattle. One of the design challenges is that they like to rub up against everything, so they destroy everything that you put in there, all your signs. We had to make the signs 3 feet tall instead of our normal signs. We just had to come up with some creative solutions, and this is one of our creative solutions to get people to be able to go over to the pond, but not cows. And then we have our Burn Mill Iron Forest. This is our first public access property. It has a couple nice old growth trees on it. Antelope Pond, we're in the process of building an ADA trail there, so there'll be an ADA trail almost all the way around the pond in the coming years. And then we manage the Davenport Bluffs area just outside of Davenport. It's actually owned by CMEX, but we manage the public access there. And we are also planning 8 miles of trails at our Watsonville Slough Farm. These are going to build the most amazing trails in the whole county if you're a bird lover. They are so beautiful right on the slough, and our public process is going on right now. So we're having these tours at the farm where people can come to the farm, see what it's like, tell us, hey, we'd love to have an orchard or a community garden, or we want swing sets. We want to hear from the community about what they want at our farm. And then we were in the process, and still are, yes, in the process of building trails at San Vicente Redwoods. But the fire will be delaying us for some amount of time. We don't know exactly what yet, but there'll be 38 miles of trails there. The design process was lengthy. It took about 10 years to get the San Vicente Redwood public access plan in place. And then we'll touch on the rail trail. So we are involved in the rail trail. This was conceived in the 1980s. The Santa Cruz is under construction now. The North Coast will be under construction next year. So it'll be a 32-mile trail from Watsonville to Davenport. Our involvement, we're interested in building trails in the county, and that was our interest in this rail trail project. So we're funding the trail system. We don't have anything to do with the rail system. That's completely the RTC's decision. So we're looking forward to the trail part of it being built. And then this is our staff. We do this all with just this many people. It's pretty incredible. All right, I will turn it over to Laura.
Thanks so much, Carie, and thank you for joining us today. We hope this has given you a good sense of the work we're doing and how we're going about doing it. If you liked what you heard, we'd love to have you get involved. You can sign up for our newsletters and e-updates by visiting our website at www.landtrustsantacruz.org. We also invite you to visit our properties. Burn Mill Iron Forest, the Glenwood Preserve, the Davenport Bluffs, and Antonelli Pond all provide unique outdoor experiences with something for everyone to enjoy. And last but not least, we would love to have you join us as a Land Trust member. Our members are our heart. Simply put, our ability to protect Santa Cruz's wild lands and create public access trails would not and could not be possible without their support. Becoming a member is easy. Just visit our website and click the donate button. A donation of any amount makes you a member, and not only will you be providing critical support for our work, but you'll also gain access to more of our virtual content, Land Trust news, and member-only events. Questions? Feel free to contact me at the email address below. We look forward to hearing from you. And until then, happy trails.